Wow, we have a new version. MidiBro 2 is here as a full plugin in your DAW. The plugin holds the library and the user interface, which is better designed and has more functions. In our MIDI track clip view, every track gets its own instrument and every track gets its own MIDI. Same, but more in sync. Let me show you how this works and what else has changed. Before we continue, let's clean up the interface a little bit and collapse the panels so we have a better overview. For those who are new, MidiBro is just a browser for your MIDI files. That's easy. And on the left hand you have your imported folders and you can click on them and immediately see the note pattern, the name, the key, very good metadata. You can instantly preview the files using MidiBro's internal synth. And if you found something you like, you can just drag it into your DAW and boom, here we are. But MidiBro has much more functions under the hood. So if you unfold the right drawer, the right panel, you see many tabs with further functions. We will have a brief look in this video and every function gets its own video. So that's MidiBro 2, a full rebuild, nothing left to the old code. And if you just want to explore your library, you are good here, we are done. If you want to go deeper, stick to the video, we will have a look at the configuration and the other functions and what is new. And here is the biggest change. In MidiBro 1, the app lived outside your DAW and sent MIDI in. That worked but never landed exactly in time. MidiBro 2 runs as a plugin in your DAW. Let me show you how to configure it in Ableton. So we have our empty lane here, searching for MidiBro. We have the MidiBro plugins here, and we take the MidiBro Master and drop it to the empty track. And the window opens, and we still are on the internal synth as output root. And we hear the same notes and synth like before. Now let's connect it to the other track with the piano little instrument. We just set MIDI from MidiBro Master, same in post effects, and hit arm and click on the output here. So this track, MidiBro Master. Okay, so now we hear it through the Ableton instrument piano little. So far so good. Now I will show you how the receiver plugins works. We have two kinds, MIDI Receiver Instrument and MidiBro Receiver as an audio effects. For Ableton we use MidiBro Receiver Instrument. We just drag it into Ableton. The window opens, we assign a name from a chip here. Let's choose bass. And now connect the new bass track with MidiBro Receiver. MIDI from comes from the MidiBro Receiver instrument. Post effects same. Arm it, hit play, and we hear nothing. Why? The output has to be assigned to receiver bass. And now we hear the notes playing from the track Electric FM. You can add as many receiver plugins as you want to switch between instruments in your DAW. Let's give a deeper look into the configuration and routing in your DAW. There are three ways to wire MidiBro. The first one is fast and simple. Just add the MidiBro Master plugin to your DAW and preview files through the built-in sound, the internal synth. So add MidiBro Master plugin and in File Preview button just choose Internal Synth GM and we are done. It's good for quick audition of files. Second one, in DAWs like Ableton, Bitwig and so on, connect your MidiBro Master plugin with your instrument track and then play through that track. That means add it to your lane and connect it to your instrument and choose this track in the File Preview. If you want to play sounds through other tracks and instruments, add the MidiBro Receiver plugin optionally and choose this in the file preview, for instance, Receiver Bass. For other DAWs like Logic, Master gets its own track and the Receiver plugin sits on each instrument track. That means add MidiBro Master plugin and on your instrument track add MidiBro Receiver plugin and choose Receiver and, for instance, Bass in the file preview. You also can add further receiver plugins to switch between instruments. For the setup, we have a setup button at the top. You can click on it and it opens an overlay window and gives you more information where browser files play. That means what is set there also in the top row, where MIDIStack rows play because they have their own setup independent from the browser table. And you have here the DAW synchronization, whether MidiBro is synchronized with your DAW and start-stop with your DAW. And how MidiBro is wired, you can unfold this to have an overview about the signal chain. So if you need any details, there are step-by-step guides on the homepage and a contact form if something does not work. If it does not work, contact me and we will find out. Let's have a quick look at the MidiStack feature. So you can unfold the right panel. We have the MidiStack here, this grid, and you can easily drag, for instance, the bass line to the second row, and let's choose a drum file, drop it here. The drum file is played through the internal synth and the bass is played through the receiver plugin play. So you can easily explore and combine your MIDI files with the MidiStack. Let's take a brief overview what MidiBro has here in the interface. Make the window a little bit larger, and here on the left side you have your folders. As said, here we have the collections, and to add a folder just hit the plus button and browse through your hard drive, or just drag and drop here into that zone, and the scanning takes happens in the background, so you can continue to work on it. You can scroll and browse through your subfolders, add and pin any folder you like, and you have the collections, all files, favorites, recent files, and unrated files, the smart collections like in MidiBro 1, arpeggios, bass, chord, drums and percussions, melody. You can also add your own collections here, the new collection, for instance, adjust the name and add a search term. It searches in the file name or the file path or in metadata. And then you have your new own collection called Pad and Arp and can quickly browse through it. You can, of course, filter by key. Major and minor subfilters are new here. You can browse by genres. You right-click on a genre and edit opens the genre wizard. Same like in MidiBro 1. See the video there, and deep dive will follow later. And we have also the tempo collections here. You can drag and drop any collections and it stays there. You can change the order. So let's have a look at the middle, at the center table. We have the octave buttons here, the octave column. Oops, no sound. Just switch to this track, MidiBro Master. And while playing, you can adjust the octave, or you can change the semitones. This is new in MidiBro 2. Then we have here several tabs in the browser. That means with plus you can open a new tab, change to bass, open another new tab. Then you have melody, and then you have different tabs for your genre, bass, melody, whatever. Same like in an internet browser. At the top we have the inspector. So you can see the file playing there. You have a zoom view, as in MidiBro 1, and you can drag and drop this from here into your DAW. You have a metadata, you can assign favorites, and you can add a note here. Same like in MidiBro 1. MIDI-learn for your controller. You can assign functions from the browser table here to your controller. Same for MidiStack. And what else do we got? Let's switch to Galaxy View. Same like in MidiBro 1, we have the Galaxy View, so you can browse through clustered files, melody cluster, bass cluster, and so on. Nothing has changed, everything ported. Switch back to list, and let's make a quick walk through the functions on the right hand side. MidiStack we already touched, closed shortly before. The variations are also here, so we have our original file. We can choose a variation method for melody variation Y, generate 4 tracks, play them, and if you find something you like, you can drag it into your DAW. We have the split function by channel, for instance. So let's grab a chord file and choose function by voice, and you see the voices are splitted here. You can drag them into your DAW. You can filter by channels. For this, let's choose an appropriate file. Eurythmics, Sweet Dreams, a full track. And you see the splitted channels here that you can play separately or drag into your DAW. And this comes to next to the new function hooks. This extracts hooks from your file. That means interesting melodies. For instance, we have here motif A is a first motif. Let's give a play. Okay, let's switch the instrument to hear it better. Whoopsie. The track in Ableton first. Always forget this stuff. Did. So you hear it from this track. The well-known melodies or motifs are good identified in a good way. Okay, Analysis tab. Let's choose a simple file, and in the Analysis tab you find information about your MIDI file. In the subtab Overview you have some metadata and pitch classes, and what else is contained in this file. You have an overview about the groove, nothing to find here. You see similar files at a glance and can play them. And this is the Analysis tab. The KeyShift is for transposition. You can enable it, and it's also shown here in the inspector as a pill. And by the keyboard you can quickly change source or target key once a transpose is activated. You have different scales and can define what to do with foreign notes. The ChordFit is also one of my favorite functions. So you have a chord progression set here, and now you can adjust any melody to this chord progression. Let's choose, for instance, this guy here and play. Okay, let's choose another instrument. Sounds better here, synth. It always works regarding your chord progression. Another file. Very good. Then we have the DrumMap feature, something more complicated and for nerds, so you can map from your original file any note to another note, and this works for can be used for different drum patterns from different drum machines. And we have a new feature, Groove. You can enable this, and You see the original file there, and using the knobs quantize, humanize, or swing, you can add some humanization or swing to your file. You can drag in other files and steal the groove from them and assign them to your files. We have some presets here, and you can save your own grooves. How cool is this one? This is a new function in MidiBro 2. Let's switch off all the transformations in here. And last not least is something we have more languages now, a better localization. So let's click on the settings button. The settings button is here on the top right. And in the subtab general, you can select your language. We have English, we have German, we have Spanish, French, Italian, Netherlands, Polish, Portuguese, and Japanese. So once you click it and you restart your plugin, the new language and localization are set. That's it for the quick walk. Okay, last feature is something I'm very excited about. Your AI agent, Claude or Codex or whatever, now can talk to MidiBro using the Model Context Protocol, MCP. And it deserves an own video, but I want to give you a quick glance of it, what it can do, and the possibilities are endless. For the setup, it's very easy. You just go to the settings in General tab, and you have here Remote Control, MCP, and just enable it. And for the most known AI agents, we have instructions here. Just copy them and paste them into your agent. And you also have prompt ideas, what you can do with it. So let's give a quick view how this can work. So we have our terminal window here with Claude Code, and I just enter a message whether are we connected to MidiBro. Claude Code is thinking, burning tokens. And yes, we are connected. Live MidiBro Master instance, and has already some information. So now I paste in a prompt from the settings window. It should find two loops that would fit together and show the MIDI-stack, and then Claude Code should then run them. So it takes some time, again burning some tokens, but not so much. Waiting, thinking with high effort. And yes, Claude has access to our MIDI library and found two strong candidates, and has also an overview about the MIDI-stack. And yeah, now I tell him load them and launch column 0. So it's the first column. IT stuff always starts with 0. And here we are. The first two rows are loaded, and it plays like magic. I didn't do anything with my mouse. And yeah, here we are. So Claude Code can talk, can speak with MidiBro, can play files, can search your library, can create stuff, can create variations. So the possibilities are endless. If you are coming from MidiBro 1, some things to consider. MidiBro 2 is a separate program. It installs next to version 1 and uses its own database. Both can run at the same time. At first launch, it offers you to import the data. You can do it now immediately, but you can also run this from the settings menu in the maintenance tab. MidiBro 2 needs its own license. Version 1 keys do not carry over, but if you own version 1, there is an upgrade price, and I will contact you via email, or you can contact me. So let's start the import first. hit the import button. Ooh, that was quick, but it was also a small database, so everything made it across. Yeah, so that's MidiBro 2. So we have a new version here as a plugin, all function transported or migrated, except the old synth and the drum kit, I left them over. And yeah, the link for the download is in the description. And tell me what your experience is and what can be improved. I'm here and I read every email. Bye.